but the police aren't going to respond when you get robbed. I mean, that's what this is. Give us your guns, America, and we're going to let the dregs of the world come here and just walk across the border, and we'll put them on a bus and bus them right into the middle of the country. National suicide. And I know I keep going back to that over and over again, but I was complaining earlier last week that, you know, the national media was spinning and lying with our story about the border being wide open. But why was I complaining? They ignored the Border Patrol president and they ignored the vice president saying there's an open stand down. I mean, that's the quote. There is a stand down. There is no border. They're told citizens that come back through, look and see if they've got rohypnol in the car. Arrest some college kids. All we're allowed to do is arrest college kids. And we don't even want to do it. Because they are not allowed to enforce the law. They enforce the criminal hatred that the globalists have for America and for anybody that's American. Because in these wars, if you study history, the globalists hate the seed of America. They hate the culture, the idea, not of all the bad things America's done, but the good things America did were so revolutionary. Everyone in the world wanted to come here. It was special. It's that quote from Last of the Mohicans, right towards the end, in the fight scene, where the two, you know, alpha Native Americans battle to the death. And he says to him, I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to kill your daughters, and I'm going to wipe your seed off the face of this earth. That's real power, folks. The globalists aren't just attacking humans. They're attacking the trees. They're attacking the fish, the amphibians. They're genetically re-engineering everything with horrible consequences. And then they run the environmental movement. Again, so we're all distracted onto what plants breathe as the scourge, not just the hundreds of horrible things that are going on. That's what I'm saying, folks. I mean, it's like the elite are evil space aliens come here to destroy us. I mean, they're that bad. I mean, they really are that bad. We are in the hands of pure evil. That's what I'm getting at here. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
General, what do you think about the FBI saying that there's a terror alert on Monday about a potential Fort Hood situation?
The police are shoving people, shoving Alex, shoving the crowd.
Here we go, folks. I'm being assaulted.
Whether it's the radio show, the news websites, documentary films, or the nightly news, InfoWars is the tip of the spear.
Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and put more homeland security while sticking their hands down on the pants on the streets?
It's up to us to set brush fires in the minds of men and women everywhere. And that's what PrisonPlanet.tv is designed to do.
You watch the assault Assad regime is going to be blamed or accused of using chemical weapons against the so-called rebels.
What we see now is a war against reality. It's a war against the truth.
It's more vital than ever that supporters of freedom become members of PrisonPlanet.tv and share their membership with up to 11 friends and family. Visit InfoWarsNews.com today. Become a member, share your membership, and help take the InfoWar to the next level. I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Sourced from powerful organic herbs, harvested around the planet, and then concentrated for maximum potency.
I just received my Male Vitality about 3 days ago, and I must say, that is good stuff.
After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality and getting the day started.
It's not just the Super Male Vitality. All the products at InfoWarsLife.com are simply amazing. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
Listening to an Infowars.com frontline report. It's Alex Jones.
And if you are listening or watching this emergency global transmission, you are the resistance. I'm just a normal person, folks, who about 22 years ago discovered a lot of the crimes being conducted by offshore anti-free market corporate interest through governments in an attempt to shut down free markets while blaming free markets for their kleptocratic brand of socialism on the bottom to domesticate the public, fascism sitting on top. Now, I've used my own geopolitical terms, married them with, husbanded them with already existing terms, and I have to say, much of what I have put into common parlance is now part of the common nomenclature. And that shows that those of us that don't want to go along with the globalist can defeat them. If one guy from Texas can reach 3 million, 4 million people a day, 15, 20 million people a week conservatively, what can you do in your area? And I don't want to start this interview talking about myself, but I never got to this earlier because my flight got canceled last night getting back in the country, and then I was late an hour into the show getting here. So I want to make this point. We're going to our guest, and I want to ask him this up front. But when I say it's the best of times, worst of times, we're getting some good Supreme Court rulings, a lot of them. Not just the fact that you can have companies that don't have to pay for abortions, basically, like Hobby Lobby. And we're seeing some other good rulings out of them. And we're seeing more and more people talk about crony capitalism versus real capitalism. We're seeing billionaires come out and more and more tell it like it is. People like Donald Trump saying that prepare for financial ruin. And we're seeing more and more the media, even MSNBC and CNN, and especially CNBC, they'll say, oh, yeah, there are crony capitalists that like wrecking things. I mean, folks are starting to get a basic self-preservation instinct. And people better, because here's the big issue. If for 3 weeks, Congress, as the National Review has published with a letter by representative from Oklahoma, if members of Congress aren't allowed into these military bases and there's private security strutting around and they've detained our reporters for even trying to go shoot video through the fence, and you've got a culture of total lying, and they're busing the illegals in that don't even have skills. They aren't even skilled workers. Criminals, you name it. The question is, what comes next? Well, here's another issue for the establishment. This is what I'll bring up with Mr. Dent, who's about to join us. You've got all this craziness going on, a lot of good things happening, but also a lot of bad things happening, but the establishment acts like they don't care, like they know something we don't know, and they're just invincible. I mean, Obama, in the first campaign and again in the last campaign, took about a third of his donations offshore through websites with even fake names and stuff, each case a felony, and never got in trouble. I mean, that's just one example of the legions of crimes that are going on, while they then use the IRS to persecute, you know, the institutes and things that promote conservative financial ideas or pro-life groups. It's real tyranny is what I'm saying. And then meanwhile, I'm in the airport yesterday to see this dichotomy in Houston, and I go through the TSA, and I don't want to be put in the naked body scanner, so they get all angry at me and act like I've done something wrong, and then I explain to them that they know full well it's all a fraud, and they basically let me through. And then I go through customs, and the guy's a listener and said he only got the job because, you know, he had family that died in 9/11, he's retired military, and then he knows the whole thing's fraud and government runs ISIS, and yeah, they put an X on your thing here to be searched and harassed, but this is all a load of crap I'm sending you through. You have no criminal record. I listen to your show every day. By the way, I was waiting for what happened there. I even recorded it. I don't think I'm going to air it. Don't want to get the guy in trouble. The point is that he said, yeah, the machines are taking over. That program machine that we don't even know who put stuff in it tries to keep, you name it, from even coming into the country. He goes, congressmen have trouble getting back in the country. You have trouble getting back in the country, but the illegals can come right in. You see, that's why they want computers in there so that it's all centralized and people can't say no to the tyranny. But there was that dichotomy. And then when I was in the Caribbean, in places like Grand Cayman, I mean, I was mobbed more than even I am in Austin, Texas. I mean, mobbed by the people at the hotel, mobbed at other hotels by the staff. I went to the Ritz-Carlton for dinner with some friends. Just incredible. Just everywhere I went, at the airports, the police, were listeners. It was just completely blowing me away that they all got it on that island. So there is hope, because I'm not bragging, hey, Alex Jones is a big deal. I'm saying liberty is popular. Legalizing freedom is popular, as Ron Paul says. And we're selling snow cones in hell. They're selling lighting people on fire on the 4th of July. People don't want to be burned up, folks. They want a snow cone. And the system is creating a hell right now. We're joined for the rest of the hour by Harry Dent. He's a best-selling author, made a lot of accurate predictions, of course, was a top analyst for Bain Capital. He's been on the show 4 or 5 times as a popular guest. We appreciate him coming back on. His new book's out. He's offering our listeners, it's a nice thing he sent along, at harrydent.com/Alex Jones, a free chapter from his book and more with some of the key charts and things we're going to be showing here today. And I want to get into that with him. I want to debate inflation, deflation with him. Not that I even disagree with him, but I want to go through these nuances with a technical guy, just with my layman view. Maybe he can explain some of these paradoxes to me. But first, in the last 5 minutes, you heard me break down just some of my experiences being out of the country, coming back to the country. The border's wide open. The government pays to ship the illegals in on the buses. We have video of it and them admitting it. Obama won't admit it and says it's ridiculous. We should have amnesty to fix this when they already are causing it by giving them fiat amnesty. People are waking up, but still things are getting worse. The elite are acting like they don't care. In 5 minutes before we go to break, or I'll skip the break, explain to me your perspective on what's happening. I mean, is this like Caligula marrying his horse, or Nero committing suicide? I mean, is the elite going insane, like Hitler attacking Russia, or is there some method to this, Mr. Dent?
Well, you know, there's not, to me. Like you said before, people are destroying natural systems. The free market capitalism is a natural, organic, biological system that needs the dynamics of opposites. It is being overmanaged. They're trying to run the economy like it's a machine. You know, we have the worst immigration policies in the world. I'm just back from Australia in February, about to go back in July again. They have the best immigration policies in the world. You know, you have to be qualified to get in. They attract the people they want. You can't just run across the borders. They're surrounded by an ocean, so that makes it a little easier for them. We've got horrible immigration policies, but we have even worse financial policies. The government is basically running our economy now on like artificial drugs, and that never works out well. They're not allowing debts to rebalance. They're not allowing